Podcast world, what is up?
Podcast world, what is up? Are you introducing me, or am I starting the podcast for you?
I'm going to try to introduce you, but you're one of those guys that doesn't need a lot of introduction. Today's episode of This Life Ain't For Everybody, before I bring in the man, the myth, the legend, our guest today, it's brought to you by the one and only, the iconic Jack Daniel's Sour Mash Whiskey, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Enjoy it responsibly. Never, ever allow underage drinking. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about something that might go with a whiskey pairing once in a while. We're going to talk food. We're going to talk culinary arts. We're going to talk restaurants. We're going to talk foodies. We're going to talk critics. We're going to talk a bunch of stuff. Well, I got Michael Politz on the show today. I've known Michael for about a year. I went on his Facebook live show for Food and Beverage Magazine during the COVID 2020 year, and then we became fast friends. He kind of took me under his wing. I think he sees a lot of potential in me. I don't know, Michael, is that fair? Like, why are you so good to me?
You're Mr. Belding's son, dude.
Your friend?
Who doesn't love Saved by the Bell? Oh, you hate it when I do that. Go ahead.
It's okay. Aren't you friends with him? Is his name Dennis?
I am friends with him. Do you ever shave the hair on your arm before you wear a tank top like that? I'm just, Dude,
look at those things, dude.
Look at those guns, dude. How do you have time to work out?
I don't. It's natural. Hell natural.
Oh, you're lucky, dude. Yeah.
You have a Mike Tyson versus who shirt on?
I have a Mike Tyson versus Jones shirt on. Remember that?
Is that from the last fight? That should not have happened.
It was a good fight. It was a good comeback. It started a whole new trend, right? So, now you got all these legends are coming against each other, which is kind of fun. The Legends Leagues, right?
Let me ask you something about Mike Tyson real quick. You're friends with this man. I often podcast about Mike Tyson. Mm-hmm. His career is one that makes me just shake my head. Like, the greatest heavyweight of all time, better than Ali in my opinion, but it'll never be proven. You can't take anything away from Cassius Clay Muhammad
Ali.
The
reality is you're probably right, because he's a harder hitter. He
was 19, 20 years old, unanimous, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, beating up grown men that were Bone Crusher Smith and Tony Tucker and Michael Spinks. 90 seconds, he knocked him through the ropes. He knocked out the great Larry Holmes in 4 rounds. I know Larry was past his prime, but Larry Holmes was a bad son of a bitch, and he knocked out heavyweights.
Mike was knocking out 30-year-olds when he was 13.
When he was 13.
In the smokers. They used to call them, why are we talking about this? They used to call them smokers, right? So they would bring in, you would go in underground rooms, right? And it was like, it's fighting, and you would bet on the fighters and all this. And the room was so smoky, and they brought this 13-year-old kid in, young Mike Tyson, and he would come in and just knock the shit out of grown men.
His amateur videos, even before he got with Cuss and Rooney, which when he lost Rooney, he lost his boxing. In my opinion, that should have never happened.
Well, I think Jerry Jacobs passed away, and then
Jerry Jacobs and then D'Amato. But Mike Tyson's career is one that makes me go, okay, there was all the legal stuff. There was all that bullshit in Indianapolis, which I hated. And then you had the comeback and the Holyfield ear thing. And it was like this total downfall of what was going to be the greatest boxing career. It was the most mismanaged, Don King effed up thing that pisses me off to this day. When he lost to Buster Douglas that night in Tokyo, I was in Black Springs, Nevada with a man named Cecil Washington, who was a black man that was my grandpa. My grandpa died when I was 2 years old, and he took over as my dad's dad and my grandpa. He was my grandpa's best friend. And I cried on my grandpa Cecil's lap when Mike Tyson lost. The reason I tell you this story is that his career impacted me and so many people, and it still does. When he walks into an arena now, he gets a standing ovation. Even as bad as the end of his career was, he is the most legendary boxer of all time. He always will be. You have Mayweather Jr., you have Sugar Ray Leonard, you have Oscar De La Hoya, you have great fighters from every era. But Mike Tyson's career it's you can't explain it. That's why that thing that he did on stage in Broadway was so spectacular, because he's the only one that can explain this stuff.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And he has a book. I don't know if you've seen his book, Undisputed Truth. You should get the book. You have it? Have you read it? Have you read it?
Yeah.
There's a chapter on me in there. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I was going to send it to you to get it signed by me, since you won't introduce me. When is that going to happen?
When you get to Vegas, buddy. When are you coming to Vegas? Come on down. We'll make it happen.
Mike doesn't live in Vegas full time, does he?
He's on and off. He's mostly here. Yeah.
Is he still doing his ranch?
He's still supposedly doing the ranch. They still have the ranch in California in El Segundo. It's not really a ranch. That's the office. And it's, I guess it's the brand. Tyson Ranch is the brand for marijuana, the cannabis stuff. So they're still pushing that. He's still doing his hot boxing podcast. We should get you on there.
I would love, dude. I would do it. I am such a Mike Tyson, and this is going to sound weird, but I'm a groupie. Like I could take you out here and show you the posters and the collectibles I have of the man, the tickets I have to his fights that I was lucky enough to see in Vegas. I'm a huge fan. Like I'm a huge Mike Tyson fan. Like I have everything that you could imagine Mike Tyson. Like if I showed you my Sports Illustrated Kid Dynamite cover collection, like you'd be like, you kept all that? And I'm like, yeah, because his career is different. His career is just different. I don't know if
here's the weird thing. I did all that with John Belushi, right? Anything he was on, I got. Anything I could get my hands on growing up. It was very weird.
I was Axl Rose, Bo Jackson, and Mike Tyson.
Not Vince Neil? How horrible.
I was just having this. This is another great topic to talk to you, Michael Politz. I was just having, it wasn't an argument, but it was a pretty passionate conversation. I wouldn't say it was heated, but me and two other people, one female, one male the other day, were talking about quote unquote hair bands. And they had the audacity to tell me that Guns N' Roses was a hairband. I said, you're out of your mind. I said, they're the most dangerous badasses. When they came along, there was Tesla, there was Poison, there was Whitesnake.
Is Motley Crue? Is Motley Crue a hairband?
That was the second thing that came up. And I go, okay, let's take Sunset Boulevard and that time of the 80s, the 83 to 80. I remember going into Grand Central and buying Shout at the Devil on cassette with the original cover on it, Nikki Sixx. But no, those were the two bands that were dangerous and pure rock and roll. They were not hair bands. Do you agree?
I agree, but they did wear makeup and put their hair up, and like they didn't need to do it.
I don't know why they did. There was some photo shoots of Axl wearing makeup. I do know that. But God, coming out in the kilt and the Doc Martens or the Converses and the Reebok, like he was on a different level of it. And then Vince Neil, when I listen to Motley Crue right now and I listen to like Red Hot or Too Young to Fall in Love or all of those songs that were just, I don't know if
the first album, dude.
Yeah, I don't know if Theater of Pain was too. It got a little soft for me. I don't know if they jumped the shark on that one, but Shout at the Devil and Red Hot and Livewire, God, I could listen to that rock and roll all day. But you agree, they are not a hair band.
Dr. Feelgood came back with that.
Oh my gosh, dude. Kickstart My Heart and Dr. Feelgood. I don't know if there is a more, I think Jungle and the opening riff of Feelgood are just some of the most. That would be my walkout song if I was. If I was going in to fight Tyson, it would probably have to be Jungle or
Not
Kickstart
Livewire?
My Heart. I love Livewire too. God, they were so good. Is Van Halen and Motley Crue on the same level of hard rock? Because Van
Halen's softer.
But they were not a hair band.
People don't consider them a hair band, but they were softer.
Do you take Roth or Hagar?
Roth.
Me too, but would you agree, being the music man that you are, do you agree that Sammy Hagar is an underrated frontman and lead vocalist? That dude can sing his ass off.
I say he's overrated.
Really? Oh my gosh, no way. I've seen him live.
I know him. I was just with him 2 weeks ago.
Oh, so you're messing with me.
I'm being serious. Like,
you would tell Sammy Hagar he's overrated as a singer and a vocalist?
I would never tell him that because he's 75 years old, right? Like, and he's nice. He's always been kind, nice to me, right? I'm a David Lee Roth guy. I don't think Sammy. I mean, maybe he's a great singer, but David was a fucking showman. Can I use that word?
You can say whatever you want, and I think that their videos and their concerts when 84 came out and Jump and Hot for Teacher in Panama and all of that whole album and before that Running with the Devil and all that, I don't know like if you could get a better showman. I think Axl Rose, this is my opinion. I was just reading this article that came out in Hit Parade, the guys that used to do Hit Parade, they said Axl Rose is the best lead singer of all time. I've said this for years.
I heard that too. I don't know.
Oh, come on. He's got every level. He's Freddie Mercury. Yeah. He's David Lee Roth. He can do the Philip Ensemble, the deep stuff. He's got every level. He's the best of all time. Plus, the dude was running 10 miles a night on that big stage. Now, Vince Neil can sing. He
Vince
can.
can't sing as no. Vince is a good singer at that in what he does.
The best singer of that era, in my opinion, before you go on, and I don't want to interrupt you. I was going to say this. The best singer of that era for what you would call, I think they were right there with Crew, but they were a little bit more hair band. My favorite hair band was Cinderella. And Tom Kiefer, the lead singer, is a badass vocalist.
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
But
like
they're
you
all good.
agree.
Blackie Lawless, Kevin DuBrow
Wasp.
was
Did
one-
you just pull out Wasp?
Wasp, dude.
Oh, wow.
Kevin DuBrow from Quiet Riot was one of my best friends.
Are you
Literally.
serious?
Yeah,
He's passed away 20 years ago, right?
10 years ago. It was sad. It was the right Thanksgiving weekend. We were supposed to have Thanksgiving. I literally was at Vince's house for Thanksgiving, and then I was going to go with Kevin after I ate at Vince's house, and we couldn't find Kevin. And then later that day, we found out that he had passed away a couple of days because he was supposed to be with a guy named Glenn Hughes. If you're familiar with Glenn Hughes,
I'm not.
Glenn Hughes was in a band called Deep Purple.
I remember Deep Purple, but I don't know
So
anything
he
about
actually
it.
has a beautiful voice. He's got a beautiful voice.
Wow,
But then there's like unknown guys, like the Faith No More guy. Amazing.
Unbelievable. Let me put this one by you. Well, first of all, I wish I could walk you into part of my studio, and I have my original Metal Health vinyl up there when Kevin's wearing the metal mask. That was the 1982 I got it, and my mom and dad are like, yeah, you could listen to Come On, Feel the Noise, all this, and then Love's a Bitch comes on, and my mom's all, did they just say bitch? And I'm like, uh-oh. My first concert ever was this man that I wouldn't ask you about because I want to go back to
I have the gold album that Kevin gave me.
Wow.
You want to hear the weirdest thing? Here's the weirdest thing. Kevin passed away somehow, some way, wrapped in newspaper, in the mail. My name was on it, no return address. I opened it up. It was his gold album.
No return address.
No, I don't even know where I got it.
After he passed away.
I'm thinking that Frankie Banali might have sent it to me, right?
The guitarist. His drummer. How did he pass away?
Kevin did a cocktail that he shouldn't have been doing.
I think that another man.
Ambien and Coke and.
Damn it. Another man that passed away way too young, and this was the one I was going to bring up to you when you said Deep Purple, was Rodney James Dio. That dude's voice was on a different level.
Yeah.
And he passed away. Yeah. Kevin, I think that Rodney James passed away of lung cancer from smoking, I think.
Yeah, that was hard for a lot of my friends like Brian Posehn and Scott Ian and the hard rock guys, right? The
Scott
Slayer
Ian
guy, Anthrax guy.
Wow, dude. I can't believe that you know these guys, man. This was my life. Like Dio, when they did, "We're off to the witch. We may never, never, ever come home." Like when I hear that song today in 2021, I get chills. And that dude was like 5'3.5" tall and just rocked it, man. But
I mean, what about Ozzy?
Oh my God, different level. I was listening to him do a Ozzy Fest, a solo with what's the big badass guitarist? Not Randy, but his newer Zakk Wylde doing Iron Man without Sabbath. It was just Ozzy and Zakk when they're in their band at an Ozfest. Headline.
Was Tommy being the drummer?
Tommy Lee.
Tommy Kaffoldis.
I don't know. They didn't say the drummer's name, but it was
he was
badass.
The same drummer. He was the drummer for what was it? When Black Sabbath got back together, it was Tommy.
Oh, really?
Hair everywhere, and he was insane.
Is Neil Peart an overrated drummer?
No, he's amazing, right?
I know. There's an argument. I think it was Howard Stern had Lars on from Metallica, and there was an argument over the top drummers, and they said that, and the article had said that Neil Peart was overrated, and they were talking about the time he went on Letterman and he had that whole 360 degree.
Yeah.
The dude was unreal, but they say that his whole deal was built on Tom Sawyer and that it's not that hard of a riff to play, and that he was an overrated drummer. Like, dude, that guy ripped. Did Neil Peart pass away too just now?
He did.
Jesus, they're all dying off. And then
who was a better drummer? Was Phil Collins a better drummer?
I think Phil Collins in Genesis, and he is so underrated as a musician. That dude can play anything. He's like Prince. He's like freaking Prince. Prince could do all that shit.
I'm not a fan of Prince. I'm not a
Prince
fan.
His guitar playing was pretty badass. What about the lead singer of Maroon 5? Have you heard him play the guitar?
No, is it good?
Oh my gosh, he did Purple Rain at Howard Stern's 60th birthday. You got to look it up on YouTube.
What about Tom Morello?
Tom Morello's Rage Against the Machine?
Yeah.
I think that they are an unbelievable band. I don't know if I agree with some of the shit that comes out of his mouth, but he is an unbelievable musician, and they're great. They're great. They are great. Dude, I love this kind of conversation because music is everything to me. That time period of, I was just telling you about that Neil Peart deal. I just love the culture of what, like, Tommy
But what
Lee.
about Geddy Lee? Listen, Rush
Oh,
itself,
Geddy Lee was awesome, dude.
But
Rush
Rush has a following of like Rushettes. You know what I mean? Like these guys love. Is that called prog rock? I think progressive rock. And you really have to be into that. I love Tom Sawyer. You know, I liked it. But growing up, I was like, I loved Rick Astley. I'm not gonna lie, and Rick Springfield. No, I'm just kidding. I loved Motley Crue, right? I loved it. But speaking back to Rick Springfield now and Sammy Hagar are partners in Beach Bum Rum.
Rick Springfield was Jesse Don't Lose My Number?
No, he was Jesse's girl.
Jesse's girl, or 8675. Who was that?
No, that was Tommy Two-Tone.
That was Tommy Two-Tone.
But Rick Springfield, you know, Jesse was a friend, you know, that.
Yeah.
So that was him. He's now partners with Sammy. Not so rockery. It's not like a rocker combination, the two of them. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not a rocker combination. You know, Van Halen, David Lee Roth, or Sammy Hagar. Sammy's like a beach bum. I Can't Drive 55. That was great. You know, but maybe they should have worked a little harder to keep the band together. Van Hagar, you know, I get it.
Well, it was like GNR, 25 years
Well,
slash
it's
an
like,
accident.
and it's like, listen, two of the greatest bands in the world, right? And what about Kiss?
I think they're the most overrated. I don't think they've ever done a good song. Maybe Up All Night.
Yeah. Anything that Peter Criss did was amazing.
Peter Criss and the solo albums, I think that Ace
Hard
Frehley
Luck
was...
Woman, Hard Luck Woman, amazing.
Do you like Paul Stanley's voice, though?
That was Paul. Yeah, but that was Peter Criss's voice. But Paul's nice. Paul's a good guy. He's good.
I'm not saying he's not a great guy, but that was more of a theatrical circus, wasn't it?
Yeah, but look at the legend that they created.
Oh my God, they're
Listen,
probably the richest band in history.
probably one of the greatest bands. The most underrated band is Cheap Trick. They're as good as the Beatles, dude.
They have some unbelievable songs.
They're as good as the Beatles.
What
They're
about
as good as-
Foreigner? Was Foreigner a good band?
when it started? Now it's just Mick, you know, touring.
Can Journey go on without, because this new
Journey's
guy,
going on, yeah.
the Asian kid,
Yeah, he's doing
he
good.
sounds
You
just
know,
like Perry, right?
Yeah, but it's not Perry.
We're not spending enough time on each of these guys, Michael Politz. We're jumping too much. I'm still on Eddie Van Halen and Michael Anthony and Alex Van Halen and David Lee Roth, MTV era, 1983 to 1988.
I was a Motley Crue guy, dude. Way more.
Oh my
Motley
God.
Crue, Guns N' Roses.
I was Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses too, but Motley Crue, I didn't get a GNR album until I'm 12 years old. I get it at Warehouse Records and Tapes when Appetite comes out in 86, 87. I was 11.
I have the gold album up on my ear from Steven Adler, a good friend of mine. He was a drummer.
I know Steven
heard
Adler. I don't know him, but I know who he is very well. Adler's Addiction is his new band. He played a couple dates on the Not in This Lifetime tour 2 years ago with
Yeah,
Axl
it was
Slash
nice
and
of them to do.
Dove.
I would like to see the band back together. You know,
I loved him with Matt. I loved him with Matt Sorum.
Matt's a good friend. You know, I love Matt. But you know, I love the Cult.
I
And
want you
love Velvet Revolver.
I want you to look into this when we get off this podcast, because this is what my scare is, my fright, my fear. My buddy went front row pit last week to Hershey. Two
So
or three,
Mammoth?
no, they were GNR.
Mammoth opened for him.
Okay.
And my buddy, little Frankie Sidaris, is a guitar player. He was from Slash's and his band.
Snake
Miles
Pit
Kennedy.
or Velvet Revolver? Oh, Miles Kennedy. God, great band. Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators.
Yeah, and so those guys are all my friends. Todd Kearns and Brent Fitz and Frankie's
Oh my God,
mom.
Todd Kearns rips.
You know who Todd Kearns is? That's bizarre to me.
Oh, I love that band. I've seen him live many times. I love Scott before he died, and I think
I
that
love
Stone
Scott.
Temple was amazing. I
I probably saw them 50 times.
I probably saw him 5, and I saw Velvet Revolver 5 when Slash and Scott did that. I love Chris Cornell. How sad is that one? That one's
Yeah, I
terrible.
was never,
Soundgarden Rip.
Black Hole Sun. They were good.
I never was an Eddie Vedder fan. Pearl Jam, not at all.
Not me either.
I like Kurt Cobain though.
What about Jane's Addiction? And
Navarro.
What about Alice in Chains?
Love Lane Staley. Jar of Flies is one of my favorite albums of all time. I loved Blind Melon.
Cantrell, not your guy?
I like Cantrell.
I used to own into the Food and Beverage Arena, which is where I'm from. I used to own a bar with Jerry Cantrell and Scott Ian, and it was called Dead Man's Hand, and it was here in Vegas.
What happened to it?
We could, rock and roll just isn't a thing. It doesn't bring the numbers in Vegas
Like country music does.
Country, not necessarily either. It's like EDM, and it's like we were connected to a strip club where you thought it'd be perfect. People just roll in. We had so many, like Corey Taylor used to be there all the time, and Vinnie Paul before he passed away. One time, Vinnie played the entire Kiss Alive album. It was amazing. Meatloaf. We had a lot of guys performing in there.
Yeah, you had me on your show with Meatloaf's daughter one time.
That's right. Meatloaf, I love that guy.
But you got to do this for me, and I want you to look into this because my buddy sent me some videos, and I think Axl blew his voice out.
Oh, really?
He said that everybody in the crowd was looking at each other like WTF. And then the next night I saw some videos on YouTube from Fenway, or 2 nights later. And then tonight they're playing in Jersey at Hartford Stadium.
Yeah.
I'm scared that something happened. After the COVID letdown.
Well, events too. Their voices, they've been doing it for so many years, and they stopped for a year and a half.
Yeah, but he can't sing. It's not Axl. He's struggling. Like, I'm scared because I was going to see him at Bottle Rocks in Napa in a couple weeks.
Yeah. They invited me to that. Guns N' Roses is playing there?
Yeah, they're headlining it on the 4th.
Oh, I didn't know that. They invited me. They invited me.
GNR did or Bottle Rocks did?
Bottle Rock.
Yeah, Bottle Rock did. If you didn't know, GNR was playing it. But yeah, they're headlining on the 4th.
Of what? August? No, September.
No, September 4th.
Huh.
Yeah, GNR is playing it. GNR is playing your home freaking town on the 28th of this month.
Yeah, but dude, it's not GNR.
What? It's Axl Slash and Duff and Dizzy Reed. I saw this lineup 5 times.
Is Dizzy playing? I know Dizzy.
Dizzy's back with them. I saw this lineup 5 times in 2019 when it was the second year of Not in This Lifetime tour after they kicked it off at the Troubadour. Dude, Axl was ripping. Slash is sober. Duff's sober. They're all buff now, and they're ripping more than ever. They rock. I'm telling you, it's a great show. 3.5 hours with no intermission.
Every song you knew?
Every song from they start off with Night Train again. They do some of the stuff off of Chinese Democracy. They do Live and Let Die better than freaking
they always have. They always have. And they used to have the stage that went like this.
Oh God, when
Axl would run around.
Yeah. In 1993, I went to 17 cities on the Dust and Bones tour that was mixed with the Metallica co-headlining tour. And I watched Duff get hit with a bottle of piss in Arco Arena in Sacramento. The next night at Lawler Event Center in Reno, some fireworks were let off right before the encore of Paradise City, and Axl walked off both nights. Then I went up to Portland. Then I went to Seattle. Then I went to Denver. That's when the brawl broke out, when Axl left the stage and Slash did the freaking 45-minute solo, and Lars came out and beat the Skins. I was a groupie. Literally a groupie of Guns N' Roses. And when they came back together, I thought it was the best thing of freaking all time. And then,
yeah, me too.
And the biggest thing that I saw was they did $490 million in 2 years. It's the second largest revenue grossing tour in the history of music, behind one of the Rolling Stones tour. Michael, the merch lines were 100 people deep, 10 lines each, and the shirts were $45 a piece, and people were buying them like they were Skittles. Vintage, man. Vintage Axl Rose is the best, dude. It's the best. He's the best of all time.
They did. You know what? I guess I did see them. Well, no, that was with Ashba, because he's a buddy of mine. You know DJ Ashba? Have you heard of him?
I know when he was the guitarist for GNR, yeah.
Yeah. So he's here. But we had GNR played in Vegas at the Hard Rock, and so we used to have parties after the shows up there. And so it was nice. Axl was up there. It was fun. We had a fun time.
That was before they were back together for this big reunion tour.
Yeah, that was
if you go to Bottle Rocks, I need to know you need to go on YouTube and watch these videos of Axl and tell me what's going on.
I got to look at Bottle Rocks. I haven't even looked to even go. They've invited me. I haven't looked.
Stevie Nicks is there.
She's playing too? Mm-hmm. It just sounds like a lot of people. It doesn't sound like a lot of fun. I mean, I'm not into that anymore, dude.
If you don't have VIP and stage access, I wouldn't go. It's a mess. It's a circus.
I mean, you're talking to a guy that's, best friends with Vince Neil. I'm backstage at every Motley show and every Aerosmith show, right?
Well,
I mean, Joey was a good friend of mine. He's a good friend from Aerosmith, right? Joey Kramer. So I would literally stand next to the drums during the shows.
I love that shit. I've been lucky enough to hang with Steven a few times because he came to Nashville and did the country thing, and he's good friends with Zach Brown. So I've seen him in Fenway on stage with Zach Brown doing Walk This Way and Loving an Elevator and shit. It was freaking. He's one of the greatest.
You like the country music?
I'm a big country fan. Yeah, I run with a lot of the guys. I'm a big country guy. If it's good country, did you go to Garth Brooks the other night in your hometown?
No, I don't. If I don't go unless I'm invited, I don't know Garth. I'm friends with Phil Vassar, if you know Phil is. And
I know Phil very well. Badass piano player. Unbelievable artist.
Unbelievable artist, yeah. So, I mean, that's like my closest country friend.
He's a great dude.
Yeah.
I don't know him, but I love that song that he did about the milk spoiled and the kids are running around.
Another Day in Paradise?
Another Day in Paradise. That's a great tune. So is Motley Crue going back on tour again, even though they signed the contract to never do so?
Yeah, they're going with Def Leppard and Poison.
Def Leppard, another underrated band. They were hard rock for a minute.
Yeah, and my favorite of all time, Joan Jett.
Oh my gosh, she is so sexy.
Dude, she blew a snot rocket out. We were backstage, me and her and one other guy, and we're talking. She's from my hometown. So we're hanging out, and she's like, we're never fucking knows. And I was like, so freaking sexy. I said that. I go, God damn, are you sexy?
Was she sexier than Lita Ford or vice versa?
Oh, yeah. She likes girls anyway.
Lita Ford does?
No, Joan.
Really?
Yeah, Johnny's hot. Johnny doesn't want anything to do with any guys. And I'm like, you are so freaking sexy. Like, shut up.
Yeah, I love her stage show, man. I don't know if there's anybody better than Stevie Nicks, though, as far as pure female voice goes.
Yeah, she's good.
Okay, so is Vince Neil a nice guy? Because I remember him and Axl got into. Do you remember that dispute back in the day?
That was him and Duff. No. Because of that, Axl.
Because of it.
Duff kicked his wife and she was pregnant and stuff. I think yeah.
So Duff was all high or something back in the day when he did that stuff.
Some shit came down. But when you're all drugged down, high or drunk or whatever, shit happens,
So this food and beverage deal has kind of led you into this lifestyle where everybody loves food. Is that fair to say how you met all these guys because of your culinary background? Or what's the scoop on how you know all of these different musicians or politicians or actors and actresses and celebrity chefs? Is it all because...
No. Listen, you know what it is, Chad? You want to really know what it is?
Yeah.
When you're number fucking one in your field, dude, other number ones want to be your friend. Simple as that.
Really?
Well, what else would it be?
I don't know.
Right? My actor friends are the biggest A-list movie stars, and we all hang out and have a great time. They've, my rapper friends are Academy Award winners. It's just, it is what it is, right? We can't do what each other does, but we're at the top of our game. Right?
So do you have a hard time hanging out with people that aren't number one? Is it hard for you because of the envy?
Here's what I say,
or because of the jealousy?
If you're not number one, you're number two.
Yeah, first loser or what?
No, just kidding. No, I mean, I like to help people. I don't get jealous. Maybe they do. Or maybe they get. I try to be as humble as possible. Whatever. I know what I've got, and the thing is, I built it myself. Right? I don't have hedge funds behind me writing checks to me.
What did you build? Tell my audience, please, what it is you built.
I built Food and Beverage Magazine from zero, from ground one, right? From one reader to 14 million readers a month. So I was always nice to everybody, right? Whether I was in a bar or a restaurant. Now the guys that were busboys remember me when I was like, oh, let me help you with that. You know what I mean? Even though I had the magazine, right? Now they're all GMs and owners. You know what I'm saying? They're like, nobody treated us that way. But I think that's what it has to do with. All the guys in Vegas, all the guys that were busboys and cleaning up the vomit from all the chicks that were puking up their lungs from drinking too much vodka. All those guys now are GMs and club owners, right? And they're like, oh man, you were so cool to me. We would just have fun. Nobody's better than, everybody has the ability to walk up that ladder, right? Everybody has the ability to be the greatest boxer in the world, or whatever they are, and people don't understand that. Like, it's not luck. Like, the luck is a part of it, but you need to work your ass off to do it, and be right and be straight and right with people. Mike wouldn't be the greatest boxer in the world if he didn't work hard. Like, he never slept past 3 a.m. He was up doing road work when he was 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, right? He never stopped working out. He never stopped training. He never stopped listening to what Customado would say. You learn lessons from people. But if your ego gets in the way, you're not going to take those lessons to heart, and you won't learn them. When I came to Vegas, well, before that, I had a flower business, right? We were selling roses for $10 a dozen. And I was friends with everybody in the Washington, D.C. area, right? And Coach John Thompson was a big influence on me. If you know who he is, from Georgetown. And Rick Doc Walker from the Redskins is now a broadcaster. These guys were big influences on me because they would lead me, sort of almost like mentor me, right? While I was building this floral business. Then I came to Vegas and I met Robin Leach, one of the greatest journalists of all time, with Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And, he took me under his wing, right? And so, if you listen to what these people say, then Wolfgang Puck and Bobby Flay and Batali and all these guys, and you watch that they're successful and why. And none of them are shitty to people, right? But we do see some people that are that way to a lot of people, and that's just, you stay away. I don't hang with that. I don't chill with that. Everybody's the same, right?
So do you have an ego now because you did build it, or do you still, because this is where
I have confidence. I don't have an ego.
But the moral of the story is that's why I asked you the question at the very beginning of this podcast, is that why would you pick me to treat me the way you've treated me when you don't have time for me? What the hell is Chad Belding ever going to do? It's like an amazing. I had to have this. I had this conversation with one of your employees the other day. Like, why me? Why is Michael doing everything for me that he's doing? Because part of it almost is like, this one is too good to be true. One, Politz has got to be full of shit that he tells me he's going to do this. But everything that you tell me you're going to do, you follow through on, and it happens. And I'm like, why me? Why are you doing this?
You know why, Chad?
Why?
Because you're an alpha male. And you are so fun to fuck with and bring down that I can't stop. It's like an addiction, right? It's like, I'm like, look at this beefcake. I'm going to fuck with him so bad, he's not even going to know what to do with himself. I'm going to call him all kinds of shit, and I'm just going to just fuck with him. Well, because I like what you're doing. Listen, I'm not even a hunter, bro, right? Like, who do I mean? I don't think I know, like, who? Like, Uncle Ted, one hunter that I ever met, right? Like, I don't know, but I love what you do, and you're passionate about it, and I want to help people. And working with you is not helping you. You don't need my help, but it's helping others that see what we're doing, right?
Oh, that's a good way to look at it.
You've got your spices, you've got your beef line, you've got these great things that are happening. Dude, you're an entrepreneur. That's all I am, I'm the guy with a dream that has failed so many times that I finally almost made it, is the way I look at it.
Me too. I love that concept.
I'm a guy with a dream that's almost made it, right?
But let me ask you this, though. Answer this question real quick for me, Michael Politz. When you made the statement that number ones want to be by you because you're the number one in your space, are you going 100% off of the 14 million readers? And I need some transparency here. Has it given you a lifestyle to where you are considered a success now in the food and beverage space because you brought this from an idea, you nurtured it from one reader to 14 million. 14 million is a huge number of people. So is that why you're considered the number one in your area? That's why you're friends with Vince Neil? No way.
No, Vince I've been friends with while I was building, right, for 20 years, And Mike and I were friends when I had nothing.
So what are you number one in? I want to know what you're number one in.
Readership. No one can compete with our readership. But I'll tell you this. Everybody else has big companies behind them. I'm so confident because I created that. I didn't go into some algorithm and hire some company and blah, blah, like all these people. I didn't have the money to do that, right? I think I shook everybody's hand. And I met at trade shows and here and there, right? And then you learn. And it's like, okay, it's one thing to come with a company saying, here's a couple $1 million, knock yourself out, be the best, be the biggest, create, right? It's another thing to come from zero. Come from zero and turn it into that. right? And there's companies that have bigger revenues than us. Now, I don't know what their payback is for the loans they've had to take in, or the percentages of what, the companies that own them or where they're making their money. But I'm not answering to the man. You know what I'm saying? I am the man. That's the difference. When I go out and I meet another publisher of a big publication, dude, they're just a paid employee of a publication most of the time. They're just a guy that gets a paycheck. Oh, I'm the publisher of Bon Appetit, or that's a consumer guy. But, whatever it is, that's great. But you get a paycheck. You can get fired. Right?
Right.
That's it. Like that's, I'm my own guy. I don't know if that's better or worse, because maybe I could be making millions of dollars and just getting a check and not having to worry about it.
Well, let me ask you this, but with what you're saying, because I often, while you're talking, I'm looking at notes and I'm thinking about my career of like how I didn't go and have a hedge fund, and I didn't go and have an inheritance to start something with. It's not a generational business. It was an idea. I failed a lot. I fell down, but I kept getting up. But is this the theory of what you're talking about right now of taking it to the level that you have, and you see that kind of in the same way that you see in me? Is that a bond that's considered the entrepreneurial spirit? Because I'm thinking of my own career of and this is the question that I have. I'm trying to go about it so you understand. The question is, I live a multi-millionaire's life on not a multi-million dollar salary. I don't know what the future holds for the businesses. Someday you could sell them and you might have some luck. But right now, my value of life is unbelievable. I have to pinch myself a lot. And is that kind of what you're saying, that you have built this value of life, but you're not sitting there going, hey, I've sold a company for 150 or 500 million?
Nor do I owe it to anybody else.
You don't owe it to
anybody else. Nobody can go. I mean, Robin Leach would be the only one, because he really took me under his wing and taught me a lot. Like, that's the mentor, right? And he passed away. But nobody could say, I made that guy. I made that guy. Because nobody made me. I made me. So I don't ever have to have that little bit of shame. At least to me, I would be shameful in that.
Right.
If I knew that you know what I mean? It's like I was creative, but somebody kind of really pushed the buttons and funded me, and blah, blah, blah. And we see that all the time. And to me, that's like a shameful ego. And it's not my ego, because my ego never, if your ego gets in your way, you're fucked. You wouldn't be a good entrepreneur, right? Like, you don't have an ego, because you're like, I'm going to jump off this freaking cliff, and I guarantee you I'm going to land properly.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. I'm going to fly, or if I don't fly, I'm not going to hurt myself when I land. And if you guys are going to come with me for that ride, hey, do it. If not, be pussies.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's roll.
That's all it is, right? So that's like right now I'm working on so many other projects. I'm working on the Food and Beverage Magazine test kitchens, where we're going to have guys like you come in and open a restaurant for the night. And it's Chad Belding's restaurant, to the max. Did you get it? To the max?
I like that.
You didn't get it.
Yeah.
That was a Saved by the Bell. That was a Saved by the Bell reference.
Oh, to the max?
Yeah, the Max was the name of the restaurant.
Oh, listen to you. You watched it way more than I did. You're like Screech.
Well, Screech passed away, God bless.
He did.
But then you're going to have, so you're going to be honored to cook in our test kitchen, right?
Hell yeah.
It's amazing, right? And we're going to get all these pop-ups, all these food truck people, all these chefs and cooks, and everyone that have ideas that think they can make money and want to help entrepreneurs build their own brands. We're going to pop these guys up all the time. Nobody's doing this. I'm putting it on my back to do it, And we're doing it. I've got partners, hopefully, all over the country that want to come out and do that.
I want to do that. That sounds awesome. Is that going to be all over the country, or will we have to come to Vegas to do that?
Yeah, we're going to pop up. We're going to take some restaurant spaces, and we're going to figure out how to make it work. I'm working on a TV show right now that it's going to be contestants with these pop-up concepts are going to win, right? What you're going to win is virtual kitchens in like 100 locations across the country. It's a huge. It's
that's a killer idea. I got to ask you this. I got to ask you this question, because you just said about chefs, and then you said the word chef a couple times. I need you to answer this for my clarity. Jon Favreau and the movie Chef was awesome. Then the new Chef show on Netflix is really, really cool. But my question to you, Michael Politz, is his co-host the guy that owns the restaurants in Vegas that look pretty badass?
Who's his co-host? I never saw the show. Roy Choi?
Yes, Roy Choi.
Yeah.
Is he a bad son of a bitch? Because I'm just asking. On the show, he comes off very arrogant to me, but he also comes off that he's very qualified. And then when they went and toured some of his properties there in Vegas, the one that's got like the hidden restaurant behind the door that
Best
opens
Friend
up
or something. Is it called Best Friend?
It's like it got a store out front, and then it like swings the door, and you go into this really badass Asian style. Anyway,
never been.
is he the real deal? Okay, then you don't want to answer that on here. I didn't know. I don't.
No,
I had to ask.
I don't mind. Let me just assume. Let me just say that I think your first instinct was correct, because that was the same instinct I got after talking to him for a while. Arrogance.
Okay, that's what I see in the show, and I've never met the man.
You know, when I met him, he almost thought that he was. You could feel like, dude, do you honestly think you're better than me?
That's how he
Like
comes.
you just met the publisher of Food and Beverage Magazine, the biggest magazine in the industry. I'm not saying kiss my ass, but at least fucking smile.
That's how he comes off to me, because sometimes when he says stuff to other chefs they go and visit, I'm like, whoa, dude. Whoa, that's a little too like, that was obvious how condescending you just were to that man. That's how I take him.
He was
now, again,
I was taken back, and then he had a girl there with him, and she was like, oh, we're so excited to work with him. I never really knew who he was. I think maybe he was offended. But I don't expect people to know who I am. But when I hand them my card, and they should know damn well who Food and Beverage Magazine is. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I tell my salespeople, if you call a company to advertise as an advertising sale with us, if they don't know what Food and Beverage Magazine is, hang up the phone, because you don't need to sell. If they're that ignorant and we're the biggest in the industry, hang up the phone and make your next call. You don't need to explain who we are to try to get them to do a sale. Keep moving. Is that wrong of me? Is that arrogance? Is that ego?
I think that it's earned one way, but I also think that you would never treat somebody like that. So it's hard for your psyche to get treated like that.
No. Because I don't put people above me. Like, I remember meeting the guy that owns Cigar Aficionado, right? Marvin Shanken. And he was such a little arrogant fucker. He was a publisher. And he goes, well, who are you? What do you do? I go, oh, I'm you 20 years ago. That's what I said to him.
Really?
Yeah, dude, this was like 10, 15 years ago. But yeah, because I couldn't believe that he was. I'm like, I hope I don't end up like that. I don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the guy that's unapproachable, that makes business unapproachable,
but the hard
industry
part,
unapproachable.
But are chefs as a whole arrogant?
Not from what, yes, that's the whole thing, right? When I created Food and Beverage Magazine, I took that away, all that snobbery.
Is Gordon Ramsay a nice guy? Because obviously he plays a prick. You don't. Okay, so let me ask you this. Here's what's hard for me to take about the show and the whole chemistry between the two. Jon Favreau has written arguably some of the biggest box office smashes in the history of the world.
I reached out to John. I never heard back, so I'm not gonna. I knew him when he would hang out in Vegas a lot.
He doesn't act arrogant at all on the show. And his co-host is like, he comes across arrogant to me. And I'm like, do you not understand that he wrote Iron Man? Like, him and Robert Downey Jr. built an empire. He's with Vince Vaughn and Swingers.
But why is he arrogant, or is it his culture? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that could be it too. It might not be.
Maybe he's just a quiet, maybe I read it wrong. Maybe he's a quiet guy. I don't think so, but maybe.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. That's why I'm looking at this, is that he has accomplished some shit in the culinary world.
What about Bobby Flay? What about Bobby? What's your impression?
I think that Bobby comes across as I think he's very, very, very business orientated. I think that he looks out for his bottom line big time, but I also think that I don't think he's a micromanager, and I think he lets people be creative around him. And I don't think that he wants the spotlight all of the time. But again, I don't know him. I've never met the man.
No, he's a good friend of mine.
He seems to me like he is a very humble person with the success that he's had.
So we went to the opening of his new restaurant here in Vegas, right? I don't go anywhere, but for Bobby, I'm going to go, right? So we went to the opening of his new restaurant, and I saw him talking to tables and stuff. And, then he finally saw me and ran over. It was very nice to see my friend. But yeah, he lets people do what they have to do. He lets them do.
I think that's a big part of success for an entrepreneur, is to let people be creative and
be who they are. Yeah.
And be who they are.
I do that with my staff. Like, listen, everybody's autonomous, right? So everybody does what they do. They know their job and they do it, right? I bring them on, as we do with anything, to make our lives easier, right? We can't do everything, right? So we have to have people come on that know how to do something and they help our lives, right? Of course, there are times when they make our lives more difficult, those people, right? So that's when you have to part ways. But I let everybody run autonomously. What do you think about this? What do you want to do about that? How do you want to handle this? Shoot it to them. If you're an editor, edit. Put it up, don't put it up. You're an advertising executive, make the sale, don't make the sale, but do it the right way, right? You're the front line of who we are, right? Who we are, a food and beverage magazine, right? And then if you think about it, we're reaching out to bigger companies, like the same guys that are going to sponsor you are who we want to advertise, right?
Right.
But they're not talking to me, Michael Pollock. They're talking to my team. So if my team isn't on fucking point on who Food and Beverage Magazine is, that's going to look bad.
I agree.
You're a reflection. So I can't have the arrogance.
I agree 100%.
So I don't bring those kind of people on, man. And when I wrote this book, did I tell you I had my book out in my hand? Did you like that?
I'm surprised I don't have a signed copy. That pisses me off.
Let me whip this book.
Okay, wait, hold it up. The Food and Beverage Guide to Restaurant Success by Michael Politz. So you know how to tell people how to be successful in a restaurant? Because it's hard. Owning a restaurant is hard, especially growing.
This book, the first 2 chapters of Owning for Restaurant Guys, is trying to talk them out of going into the business. Literally. Talk them out of going into the business. It was the greatest, right? So when the publisher came to me, Wiley Publishing, biggest publishing house in the world, and oldest from like 1700s, I want you to write this book. I'm like, I'm going to tell them not to go into the business. They're like, you tell them whatever you want. And then we go, now we have like Maryland State and Virginia and DC, that whole area. They're using this book as a workbook for new restaurant owners for the employment stuff.
No way.
Yeah, Maryland State Department of, I don't even know, but for people that they're helping own restaurants, they're using that book. And it's amazing. It's been amazing.
I'm sending you my address. Will you sign me a copy? Or do I have to buy it and send it to you?
Yeah, that's awkward. So now you're asking for a free book.
No, I'll pay it for it.
I'm just kidding. I didn't send you one.
I want to. No, you have not. No, I sent you beef. I sent you rubs. I mean, but you do a lot for me. But I do want a book to put on my show.
Beef, by the way, that beef, I'm not going to lie, was the greatest I've ever had. Now I don't know what it was.
Can we build a restaurant in Vegas wrapped around the provider mentality with this beef?
Dude, we should just do pop-ups on a couple times a month at the Food and Beverage Test Kitchens.
I'm ready.
I mean, you have from all of your assets, you have people that are following you that would come in.
Oh, 100%.
So you just pick like, okay, the third Wednesday of every month or the second, whatever it is, you come in. You can have a chef. You know, we have a roster of chefs that can do it as long as you're there. You know what I mean?
Can I invite? Can I invite a Californian that relocated to go to school at UNLV in Vegas and he still lives in California? Is Guy Fieri a great guy? I've met him a couple of times. I think he's great.
Yeah.
Isn't he awesome? Can we invite him? Can we invite him? Because I think I could outcook him.
I don't even know if the number I have for him is still his number.
I think I could outcook him. I'm just saying that out loud. I don't know if he could cook. Can he cook?
Yeah, he can cook.
Can he really?
Dude, he used to cook. Yeah, man. Have him make you a stromboli.
I want so bad to show him how much mad respect I have for what he's done business-wise and what he does for California and these wildfires and going into these communities when they burn.
Well, what we need to do is tell him. We need to just bring him in and not make a public appearance out of it, not make anything, just be buddies and just cook. And
I love him. I absolutely love what he stands for. But you know what I love about him is that he never shows off his cooking skills. He teaches people. He goes into these diners, drives, and all this stuff, and tells these chefs how good their food is. How awesome is that? I know that he's paid to do it, but he's passionate about telling people how good they are. And not taking all the credit for the great food around the world. Because there's so much great food.
Don't you hate it when your Yeezys come unlaced?
And also, here's another one that I need to know is a good guy. Because I don't understand the success of this show. It's the most scripted, predictable show in the history of TV and Bar Rescue. I don't understand it. I laugh at it, but it's working. He's on like season 10, John Taffer.
I don't know why it's working.
I don't get. Is he a friend of yours? Because I don't understand anything about what's going on.
I have to be very careful because I spent a lot of years not being happy with John. I got booked for a show that I was ready for a show. It was called The Hungry Investor, and evidently John had a fit because it was going to be on Spike TV. and they pulled it from me and gave it to John. They promised me another show. I never got it, which is fine. It's fine. I don't even know if John knows this part because it may not have been John himself. So I was very unhappy with him. John and I have a very close mutual. One of my closest friends is one of his closest friends. So I see him. We're very cordial to each other. We're going to be having dinner together soon. So I have to be very nice to him now. And I'm hoping I was wrong about him. You know, every time I see him, he's very kind to me. So it'll be interesting to see.
When are you going to see him?
I don't know yet. I haven't pushed it. Should I? Shall I?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Whenever I see him, you know? So Michael Goddard is a famous artist, if you've ever seen his work. Dice on Fire, strawberries, olives, lots of olives moving with body parts. So he's a very close friend of John Taffer, and a very close friend of mine. So we'll see.
That's the guy. Well, you just mentioned a word in there that I have to ask you a question about another man that has Vegas mentality built around him. One of the greatest stand-ups of all time, in my opinion, when he was on sold out Madison Square Gardens, Andrew Dice Clay. Have you had dinner with Dice? No, John. I love John Lovitz and the Benchwarmers, by the way. Watched it last night.
John's one of my best friends.
I think that John Lovitz is so naturally funny. Have you seen the Benchwarmers?
Of course. John's one of my best friends. I've seen everything.
15 times I've seen it. Last night I fell off the couch 8 times watching it with my 10-year-old daughter. Literally, like it's that funny.
I may have the 4-year-old watch it. I'll say, look at Uncle. He does. My child, he's 4, right? So Mike is his godfather. Vince is his other godfather because Mike thought it was rude.
Mike Tyson is your son's godfather?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And so when I said to Mike, you know, what should be the godfather, he started crying. He's so emotional. He said, but what about Vince? That's so not fair to Vince. Like, because, you know, he knows how close Vince and I are. And I said, well, Vince can be his godfather too. He never wants to watch any of my friends on television. He doesn't like Uncle John, this, that. He doesn't like it. It's a scary. He fell asleep during Mike's fight. He could care less. With the break joke.
Oh God, John Lovitz is freaking awesome.
If Mike's on like WWE or any of that kind of stuff, Michael like takes video from his phone, right? And he'll send me the video to show to Jet, and he'll be like, "Show him, tell him I'm a legend. Tell him I'm a legend. It's great. It's adorable." But John came over the other day, spent the whole day with us, and those two, Jet, my son, and John. Oh my God, they're like two comedians. The kids are comedians.
John is so naturally funny. He is so naturally. But is Andrew Dice Clay? Have you had dinner with the Dice? He's a Vegas cat.
I have not. No, I think he moved back to California. I've met him a couple times. I don't know that way. He was a little rough. He was a little rough when I met him.
Oh, I'm sure.
I met him with Mike, so maybe he was posturing. You know what I mean? I mean, he was a little rough. He was like, yeah.
I met him one time backstage before he went on. It was actually during sound check, and he was so nice to us, so cordial.
So maybe he was nice. He was cordial, but he was a little rough. That's all.
With everything, you're not a name dropper. You really know these guys. With everything that you experience, you're in the Sin City of the world. You're in Vegas. This is the party capital of the world, maybe. I know that there's places on islands, and I know that Miami's got it going on in New York City, but Vegas is Vegas. It's built on literally a 5-mile street. Think about that. There's nothing else that you do in Vegas except the 5-mile street. I know there is stuff to do, but that's what it's built on. Give me one oh shit moment. With everybody that you know, has anything ever blown your mind like, oh my God, did that really just happen?
In a bad way or a good way?
Good way. Like, have you ever?
It was kind of cool. I'm not going to lie. It was kind of cool to meet Merv Griffin.
Merv Griffin. Did he walk up to you, or were you introduced to him? He was
riding a cart, and with the lady that was the PR lady, and she wanted to introduce me to him, and it was real. It was like, wow, did that really fucking happen? Right? You know what I mean? Like that was pretty cool, Merv Griffin, because he's sort of a legend, right? Like it's so. But then there's guys like Chaz Palminteri, and then there's Mike. All right, here's a great. Mike's like, we're going to go to dinner with my friend Bobby. He opened a new restaurant. And I'm like, Bobby? He's like, yeah, he kept saying, we're going to go to Bobby. Come pick me up. We're going to go to dinner with Bobby. Pick him up. We get to the restaurant.
Pick who up? Mike Tyson?
I picked Mike up. He drives in a car.
Well, not everybody that says they pick Mike up is referring to the greatest boxer of all time.
And by the way, he also puts his pants on one leg at a time. I'm just saying. So we get to this place, this restaurant. We walk in. They're like, oh, Mr. Tyson, come on back to meet whatever. So we get in there, and I walk in, and who's standing there? Robert De Niro.
Bobby D.
That was his friend. Bobby.
Wow.
And he knew exactly what he was doing because I walked in dumbfounded, obviously.
Wow.
Right? Obviously. He thought that was the funniest thing he'd ever done. I mean, it was funny. Because he
Freaking
knew what he was doing.
Taxi Driver, Godfather 2, Cape Fear. I mean, you could go on and on about Bobby De Niro.
You know, and then at the Hard Rock
The
Day, when
Deer
the Hard
Hunter.
Rock, yeah, the Deer Hunter. But that was a fun moment. You know,
Have you ever met Francis Ford Coppola?
No, but his nephew's a very close friend of mine and an actor.
I just got a wine bottle signed by him. I know I was on his ranch in Napa 2 weeks ago, and he was there, but because of COVID, I didn't get to say hi to the man. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm not trying to top you. I just think it's unbelievable.
I love that.
The connections that you have.
Do you know who his nephew is? The actor?
Yes, I do. Nicolas Cage.
Bingo. How'd you know?
Now look, listen to this story. So we befriended this company, and I want you to look it up because they need to be in your magazine, and I want to introduce you to them. They're called the Particellis. This is their family name. Ray is first generation American. His mom and dad both came from the old country. They own a company called Napa Valley Olive Oil.
Yes.
They have this little tiny old ass building store. It is unfreaking real for culinary people, enthusiasts. Best olive oil I've ever tasted. So we were customers. We send an order to the store, and my brother puts the address and the last name they see. They write us, they send the package out, charge our credit card, and they put a personal note in there saying, we are huge fans of this show called The Foul Life. Is this the Beldings that are part of that? If it is, we'd like to say hello. So we call them and we're just like, yeah, it's us. So we start this friendship. So I go down there to meet him for the first time in person, visit the store, meet the dad, Ray, the son, Stefano and Jules and Dante.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable Italian family. So awesome. I start looking around their grandma's house and I'm like, who is that? Is that? And they're like, yeah, we're in the store one day and we get a call from Francis's help, his keepers and his assistants. He wants to come shopping, but after hours. They're like, well, of course we're going to keep the store open for Francis Ford Coppola. He comes in, falls in love with the family. He's in these pictures in the backyard. Okay. Then there's one there with Cage there. And then Billy Bob sitting there at grandma's table eating her Italian foods.
Oh my God.
So then they start telling me about Francis's Easter egg hunt.
Yes.
And De Niro and Pacino and Billy Bob and Nicolas Cage and Talia Shire and all these people. And I'm like, the food industry and the culture of these people and the wine country and all this stuff. I just thought it was absolutely amazing. So I'm sitting there 2 weeks ago. We go over to his winery because he moved the Diamond to a different place in California, now Napa. Anyway, the sister of the Particelli family says, we're going to go to his farm. They take me and drive me up on the hill. His house is there, his original house. I'm just like going, this guy is responsible, in my opinion, for the best two movies of all time in American cinema.
Yeah.
Godfather 1 and 2. He also made Apocalypse Now, and I'm a big fan of Godfather 3. But it's Francis Ford freaking Coppola. He knew Mario Puzo, Il Padrino, The Godfather, and all this shit. And I'm like, is this really happening because of the Particelli family and how giving they are? And it's just a network, man. It's how you build your business.
Napa. We should just do a trip to Napa.
Listen. Okay, listen to this date. Please keep on your calendar. October 29th and 30th open. On the 29th, I'm bringing in one of my dear friends, Paul McDonald. He runs with Stevie Wonder, Elton. I mean, this dude can sing his ass off. He's up and coming. You will love him. He's playing a private event in Napa on October 29th. I want you to come with me because the Particellis are cooking at it. The Napa Valley family the olive oil family is cooking at it. And then a couple vineyards. It's mainly going to be the Hunter Glen Vineyard, HG. They're amazing. And then the next night is Reno. We're throwing a party at David's Restaurant with Traeger, HG, and Napa Valley Olive Oil in Red Hawk Golf Resort up here. And Paul's going to play a concert, full band up here.
How far is Reno from Napa Valley?
3-hour drive, 3.5-hour drive.
That's all?
Yeah. We're 3.5 hours to the Bay Bridge, so it's less than Napa. But once you go all the way into Napa, it takes a minute once you get off of I-80.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that close.
But Vegas is only like 4 hours from Frisco, right?
No, 9.
Oh, no. I'm wrong. That's right. I'm thinking of LA is about what, 3?
Like 4, yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna have to fly into Sacramento. I'll pick you up. We'll roll to Napa, and then we'll roll up to Reno. It'll be a great 2 days of cooking, music, and wine. And I want to introduce you to the Particelli family. And Napa.
fun.
Dude, I'm telling you, this store is unbelievable. Look them up online, Napa Valley Olive Oil Manufacturing. They listen to this. It's so old school. They have the milk crate with the original pillow from their grandparents.
Oh my God.
They sit on their ass on this thing, and they old school fill out of the big decanters of oil. They old school fill it. Their sister puts the glue on the back of the label, slaps it all on by hand, puts the cap on, masking tape around the cap for shipping, and then they ship
How
it out.
delicious is it?
It's on a different level of olive oil. Swear on my life. I swear on my life.
Let me actually order some.
Well, if you don't want to order it, I'll ship you one first. But if you order it, they would love it. I would love to introduce you to them. They are an amazing family. Amazing family. Amazing freaking family. It would be badass to do a story on their family in food and beverage.
Let's do it.
And maybe bring Francis in on it, because Francis owns some of the baddest ass restaurants on the face of the earth, dude.
He does?
Oh my God, yes.
Let's do it.
Italy, Vegas. What's the name of his big one? Come on, you know it. Starts with
Italy?
Huh?
Carbone? I don't know.
No, you know it. It's so famous. Hold on.
You're famous.
No,
Are we
I'm
done
not.
with our podcast yet? You're putting me to sleep with your bullshit.
Am I really?
No.
You know that it's been awesome. People need to know this stuff about you.
What do they need? They need to know this stuff about me.
Because he owns Cafe Zoetrope in San Francisco. He owns oh God, he owns some awesome. What is the big
Well,
one?
it's all right. We'll figure that out. Yeah,
We'll
let's do a
finish it
whole
out.
thing.
I'll do it. I'll introduce you to Ray Particelli. This family, dude, their meals, Michael, when they cook Italian, when grandma cooks, she does this freaking anchovy deal.
Get her on the podcast right now. Wouldn't that be
she
funny?
doesn't. She only speaks Italian.
Dude, I could speak Italian.
Dude, I could parli italiano e molto bene, poco pochino. Mio nome
Wait,
è
but the rest
Ciabelli.
speak English, right?
Yeah, Ray speaks fluent Italian and fluent English. I'd love to have him on, like with you. I'm telling you, look, are you looking him up right now? You
I
should
couldn't
see
get my thing working for some reason.
their stores on a different level of coolness.
I don't know why oh, here it is. Okay. What's it called? Napa Valley Oil?
Napa Valley Olive Oil Manufacturer.
Manufacturer and St. Helena.
Yep, St. Helena, Napa area, right
How
next
cute
door to
that
Napa.
is.
Look at that little
NV
store.
Olive Oil MFG.
Yeah, look at that little freaking store, dude. The most
Oh,
authentic.
They have cheese too.
The salamis, the Parmesan's the best you'll eat. The Parmesan's on a different level.
How's the balsamic vinegar?
Freaking real. Every flavor. Get the garlic
Look at this.
infused olive oil.
Blackberry ginger, dude.
Yeah.
Apricot,
Everything-
cranberry pear.
It's the best shit you'll ever taste. I swear on my life.
Is it thick?
No. It's so perfect, dude. We made salad dressing with it the night before last at my brother's house. You can do so much with their stuff, but the olive oil is grassy and smooth and just lights up eggs. Like anything you cook in it, it just lights it up. Stefano, okay, get this part. The oldest son, Stefano, he's 31, I believe, 32. Yeah. He gets his degree in culinary, right? At
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to lie to you. Francis takes him around the world, bro, to Italy.
What?
Listen to this. Puts him on the private jet, flies him around the world. Francis went to film school at USC, right? His
Right.
favorite hamburger he ever ate is down right off of the campus of USC. He brings Stefano down there to master this hamburger. He flies him around every restaurant in the world, from Italy to the Bahamas, or not Bahamas,
Oh
to
my
Belize,
God.
to Vegas. And Stefano goes and trains all of his chefs and teaches all of these recipes and cooks at his
right.
restaurants.
That's which olive oil is the best? There's the black truffle one. There's the base
That
one.
one's amazing. Those are all amazing. The base one, I cook with the standard one the most, the blue label, the big blue
Where is
label.
that? I don't like harissa. I don't like that flavor. Herbs de Provence.
Hold on a
I
second.
don't see the regular one. I see basil olive oil, but I don't see just blood orange.
No, just the first one.
Basil olive oil. They don't even have a regular plain one here. I'm on their store. Here's the blue one, Napa Valley olive oil, extra virgin olive, but it's
That's
not
it.
on. There's butter. Oh, Family Blend EVOO. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to choose. Much do I want? A 750?
Yeah, I use it on everything, so I go through it faster than hell.
Half a gallon?
I love
That's
the
a
half
lot.
gallons. Yeah, but they come in the coolest looking bottles.
Oh, look at that. They're like old whiskey bottles.
Little ring on it for you to put your finger
Yeah.
through.
Who is G. Guidi?
That
Packed by G.
That
What?
is Grandpa, the original owner. The original owners. It was the original Particelli's grandpa's partner, and they still give him props.
Oh, what? That's
Dude,
amazing.
you got to hear their story.
I'm getting it. I'm getting the plain one, and then I'm going to get. What else should I get?
You got to
Add
get
more.
the salami.
Oh
You got to
shit!
get
I
the.
put 2 in my bag by accident.
You got to get the
gotta-
salami. You got to get the Parmesan.
I do.
Yeah.
Jesus, you're going to cost. This call's going to cost me a fortune.
Well,
Do they
dude,
make the salami?
you're loaded rich.
So what? It
So
says
what?
pepper. They have the Molinari salami and they have the pepperoni and fennel sticks.
Both of those sticks are the best meat you'll eat. I'm telling you, for snack sticks, the pepperoni and the fennel are unbelievable.
Really? All right, I'm going to add it to the bag.
The cart.
It says add to bag.
Oh, it's in the bag.
Wait. The fennel. I'll get that. What the heck? That's good.
Oh, it's amazing.
Who are you calling while we're doing this?
I was calling the owner to introduce you to him.
Blackberry ginger. Wonder which would. Maybe I just get the regular traditional balsamic.
Here, let's. Hey, come in here and meet Michael Politz. This is my brother Clay. Clay likes to cook too. Michael's the founder and president of Food and Beverage Magazine.
Is that your real brother or your brother?
No, real
Can
brother.
you hear? Can you talk on this without the headphones? Oh, he can't hear you.
Yeah, he can hear me.
So
I hear him.
okay, that's what I'm saying. So tell him about the olive oil and all the different ones we use. He's online ordering Napa Valley right now.
I'm already ordered it all. I'm done. It's $100 already.
It really is the most favorable olive oil you're ever going to taste. It was amazing. I tasted it before
Who's that?
they even.
Look at this, Michael. Jennifer.
Yeah,
say hi
that's
to
what I
Michael
just
Politz.
ordered. Who is
Jennifer,
that?
this is our assistant, Jennifer. She rocks everything for
Hi,
us.
Michael.
Hi, sugar.
Michael's Food and Beverage, the cover we're doing.
Awesome.
Look at this. Look at this bottle.
I just ordered that bottle.
The big one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the gallon. This is amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy how it came to be. A friend of ours came over.
Jenny, come here.
A friend of ours came over before we even were trying to partner with them, and brought us some and said, "This is the best you're ever going to have." And we had some, and it was, and then we ran out. And we we actually went back, and he came over one day and was like, "Hey, did you guys ever get some more of that olive oil?" And it just so happened around that same time, I ran out of olive oil at my house.
Oh my God.
And I ordered a bunch of it, like you are doing right now. And when I got it back, when I got my order, there was a note in the bottom of it and said, "Hey, really love the TV shows, love what you guys do. I can't believe you guys are ordering our stuff. That's so awesome." And so I
Wait,
just
hold
reached,
on. I think everybody just left my house. Oh, no. Are you guys going out?
Look how badass that house is.
You have no idea. Hold on. Hold
He's
on.
best friends with Michael.
see the Tyson shirt. Where's he at? In
Vegas.
Vegas. Good guy to know down there.
Oh god, he's huge. He knows everybody. Bobby Filet, Wolfgang Puck.
All right. Sorry. Sorry, guys.
Is John Lovitz married?
Yeah.
He's best friends with
you
John
do that
Lovitz. I
again?
had lunch at his house the other day. I just watched
All
a
right.
bunch
What
of
else?
last night.
What else are we doing now? What else are we doing?
So Clay's telling you about that story I told you
I
about
know.
how the
I
note
fell
comes.
asleep with him talking. No wonder he doesn't do the show.
What? He said he was falling asleep with you talking. No wonder you don't do the show.
Hey, I'm not going to talk shit, but I'm out. See ya. Thanks. Nice meeting you.
Damn it. That's it? That's all I get?
Well, I mean, with that pink Tyson shirt on, I don't know how serious to take you.
Do you hear this shit? Motherfucker.
Attaboy.
So anyway, this Napa Valley olive oil family is on a different level. I want to get them in. I want to get
Do
them
they like
introduced to
Clay
you.
or just you?
They like Clay. They haven't. They don't. They run.
I'm the reason they're here.
Jesus, they charge a shit ton for shipping, but okay, I'll do it.
Well, it's all
All right.
glass. It's heavy.
I know, you could tell.
Order a couple bottles for your friends.
I ordered a couple bottles for myself.
Did you get some of the balsamic vinegar?
Yeah. Is that good?
Yeah, that especially the lemon. It is outstanding.
Ooh, I just got the plain for now.
Okay. But yeah, that if you get the lemon, it's really outstanding. And then the garlic infused oil is awesome too.
Ooh. Oh, he is a cook, that guy. Is he the one that cooks all your stuff?
He just hops in right at the end.
Does he work with your meat a lot? Your brother?
I'm right here. Do you not want to talk to me?
Yeah, he cooks American almond beef. I sent some to Michael. He says it's the best he's ever had.
It's good.
Why is it so fucking good? I mean, honestly, dude. Can I just tell you something? I bought this Wagyu from this lady because I felt bad, right? And I was like, all right, I'll buy some. She was going to advertise, so I bought some, right? So meanwhile, they haven't paid their fucking bill, of course, right? But it was horrible, dude. It wasn't even anything special. Like, I get better beef from fucking Smith's.
I like Wagyu, but it's so. I like Snake River Farms has the best Wagyu out there.
Well, maybe this lady's a liar.
I don't
You
know.
just can only have it so much because it's so rich.
Dude, I took a whole block, a pound block, and I made it into a hamburger. And it wasn't rich. It was like a fucking, I swear to God, it was like a hamburger, bro. And then they sent me the other beef, like for fillets, and it wasn't like, it was disgusting. Yours was like the best ever. You got some great meat, Chad.
Thank you.
All right, are we done with this? No, we have to end it. We just can't end it.
No, we're almost done. I just wanted to
All
bring
right,
my
I ordered
brother
from
in.
them, so let them know that Michael Politz ordered from them.
I wanted my brother to tell you how good it is because you know those guys that say, "Oh, it's the best in the world." This family is unbelievable. This company, I can't wait to introduce you to them.
They still do it old school. They sit there in their shop every day and hand pour every bottle of it.
Well, I want to go see him.
Ray,
Yeah, how are you?
hey, ciao.
Suicide.
Listen. I'm on a podcast right now, and I'm on the podcast with the founder and owner of Food and Beverage Magazine, 14.4 million readers a month, and he's literally on your website right now ordering a bunch of olive oil and vinegars and salamis live. I want to introduce you to him because I want to get a story on the family in the store in this magazine. It'll be phenomenal. Ray, say hello to Michael.
Hello, Michael. Nice to meet you.
Oh, what's up, Ray? I just ordered stuff. You'll see my name coming across.
Oh, very cool.
I'm excited to come see you, too. I heard some great things. I heard we have friends in common.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Tell them we have friends in common.
He says you have friends in common. He's
yeah.
he's really good friends with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm better friends with his uncle, but for
Well, then
sure.
he has a much better relation. He's obviously Francis is a lot better than Nick as a friend, I'm sure.
Ray, I'm gonna be introducing you and Stefano to Michael because go online and look at Food and Beverage Magazine, and it's gonna be incredible. I just wanted to call you and introduce you to Michael so you knew it was him when you see his name come across the. I know that you're not in the store much, but I'll let Stefano know too, and Jules.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, I appreciate it. That's great. Thank you.
This is going to be awesome. We're getting ready to do a cover story with him and a bunch of the photos. We have the olive oil in it that we sent his editors that'll be in the article. So I'll send that to you, and then I want to introduce you guys because I want him to do a story on Napa Valley olive oil.
Nice. I appreciate that.
All right, buddy.
I'm
Well,
excited to get it. I'm excited, guys. Tell Ray I'm excited.
he's excited to get it and cook with it.
Great. I hope he likes it.
Oh, come on. You know he's going to like it. Shit, the whole world likes it.
Different strokes.
All right, I'll call. Hey, I've been bragging about your mom's cooking and the anchovy recipe too. I need some anchovies. I'm making myself hungry over here thinking about the anchovies.
Yeah, I tell you.
Nice meeting you, Michael. Michael, nice
Yeah.
meeting you. Nice meeting you.
Where are you going?
Hey,
Just back out to work.
Coming up, I got some ideas. I'll call you here in a little bit when I'm done with this.
All right. See ya.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
Anyway, that family, Michael, is on a different level of cool, and I'm
I like
glad
he's
that
humble. He's like, you
Oh,
may not
gosh.
like it. I like that.
No, he's just so humble and so sweet, and always just rolls out the red carpet for us and cooks for us, like amazing family. So I'll make that introduction, and then I don't know where else we go from here. We should start hosting a podcast together about all this stuff, music and
I'll do
food
it.
and culture.
I'll do whatever
Music-
you want, bro.
Music
You know what I'm
and
doing
food
right
and
now? You're
culture.
going to die when I tell you what I'm doing now. My new project.
Mike Tyson.
No, I can't because that's his wife. She does everything. I am getting ready to open up. You'll never even know what this is. Something called Crack Seeds. It's called a Crack Seed store. Have you
I
heard
don't
of
know
that?
what it is. No, I have not.
It's a Hawaiian candy, right? Because my wife's Hawaiian. And whenever her mother comes to visit, she always goes to these Crack Seed stores. And or the CVS or the Walgreens, and they complain that they don't have a lot of good ones, right? Around. So I said, I'm gonna open a store, and it's really dried preserved fruit with the special dried plum that's like tangy, and it's called what's it called? Ling Hing Mui sauce, whatever. And it's like a tangy, like a sour candy, sour apple, that kind of flavor. But they mixed it with like dried olives, preserved this, preserved that. It's something you've never tasted in your life, but you would love it.
And this is going to be in the store.
I'm making a bunch of stores. I'm going to put a couple in Vegas, some in Salt Lake City, and one in St. George.
Well, I like
Wherever there's
St.
a big
George, Utah.
Polynesian population.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it with my friend Fiji, and Fiji is the biggest music star in the world.
So Samoans and Tongans and Hawaiians and people
They
that
will
love
love this.
luau's and pigs on a spit and all this, they're going to love this type of store.
That's exactly what yes.
I want to go to a luau and watch them dance. I love luau's. All right, that's Michael Politz, Food and Beverage. We don't really need a conclusion because we're going to do it again. We're going to come up with an idea of talking music, and so I could probably expect a text from you in the next couple minutes about when Mike Tyson and Vince Neil are coming onto the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm serious. You
Me
can
too.
clear it with his wife.
You should definitely sit there and look at your phone.
I will blow Mike Tyson's mind. I'm like a groupie. He'll be like, "You knew that about me?" Yeah, I know that about you. But he doesn't want to talk boxing. Mike Tyson wants to talk life. I want to talk life. I want to know if he really made contact with Ed Helms' face in The Hangover, because that's the funniest shit of all time when he lays him out by the piano and he's singing Phil Collins. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. I mean,
Oh my
Tyson is
God.
awesome. Tyson is the man.
You are funny. You do know.
Oh yeah, I know Tyson. I watched his whole career unfold. I talk about it all the time about how sad it makes me. It makes me sad. He was worth $300 million at one time.
500.
$500 million at one time.
One time he walked me into a garage. There's boxes, like legal boxes everywhere. And he said, "Look at this." I go, "Look at what?" He goes, "Look at this, $20 million in those boxes." That was just his legal fees.
Jesus criminy. Crazy. All right, I'll contact
So
you.
what month are you going to be on the cover of the magazine? What month is it?
September. Look for Chad Belding and Chad Mendez, American Almond Beef, the provider, on the cover of Food and Beverage magazine. Tell us the website. I mean, what do we got to do? Why is it so successful?
It's easy, man. FBmagazine.com. FBmagazine.com.
FBmagazine.com, the founder, Michael Politz. I'm always honest about this stuff. I feel it. A lot of you is very hard to be true. It's almost too good to be true because you're so good. Michael Politz is the man. Thank you for ordering Napa
you're
Valley.
the
When you
man.
get it, let me know how you're gonna be like, dude, where's this been all my life? That's how
We
I
should
felt
do
about
live
it.
tastings of stuff together.
All right, I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready.
It'll be
I'm
fun.
serious. We could rock a crowd. We could
Well,
rock
it's a
a
foul
crowd.
life. What am I going to tell you?
Foul life. Will Mike Tyson come and do a tasting with us?
If he's eating meat, I'll find out what he wants to do.
Well, we don't have to
He
do
has
meat.
pigeons. He might get upset.
That I kill birds.
And you don't want him to get upset.
I wouldn't want Mike Tyson upset at me, but he would understand the hunter and provider mentality.
He sent me a message today because let's make some money.
Are you
Swear to
serious?
God. Yeah. I swear to God, that's his text message today. Where is it? Right here. Let's make money. And then I asked him something he never answered.
Like how? What's he thinking? All right. Well, I'm going to be back. I'll get you the next one. Let's do another one and just keep talking smack.
I'm in, buddy. I love it.
Is that what we're going to call it? Talking smack with Politz and Belding?
Snacking and smacking.
smacking and smacking. Thank you all for listening to another episode of This Life Ain't For Everybody podcast. Jack Daniels, thank you for believing in us. Enjoy it responsibly. Never allow underage drinking. Check out fbmagazine.com. Get a subscription. Become a reader. Chad Belding, Chad Mendez is going to be on the cover September 2021 with The Provider and American Almond Beef. I'm excited. I'm excited for my friendship with Michael Politz. That was a fun podcast. Thank you all for listening. Talk to you soon. Tom Jake, hit that button. I'm going to go out with... God, what song? Let's go out with... will Vince get mad if I go out with a Motley Crue song?
He'd love it.
Go out. Doc, this is Kickstart My Heart. Do you want Kickstart My Heart or Dr. Feelgood?
Ooh, what do you like?
I like every song they've ever done. I even like Smoking in the Boys' Room.
That's my favorite. I would go out with Kickstart My Heart.
This is Kickstart My Heart by Vince Neil, Nikki Sixx, Mick Mars, Tommy Lee. Badass freaking band, Motley Crue from the LA Strip. Y'all enjoy yourselves.
We was